I think we are live.
I think so.
All right. So
Uh,
I've been away for 2 weeks, or at least
yeah,
not on this podcast. What have you been up to for the past
I've
2 weeks?
been away for a week.
A week,
Do I
okay.
look? It looks kind of darker. No.
You seem fine. I'm just very
Okay.
bright, I think
Okay.
is the issue.
Okay.
Like I'm wearing a black shirt.
Hmm.
Just to let you know what the
Right.
MacBook camera is doing here. Yeah.
Okay.
What did you do for a week?
We went. I went to Michigan. So my
Okay.
wife's family's in North or Detroit suburbs,
Hmm.
and then we did a few nights at the Grand Hotel in Mackinac
Oh,
Island.
that sounds phenomenal.
It is it's a pretty awesome
Was it?
place. Yeah, I mean
Yes.
Mackinac Island is incredible.
Mhm.
I've never
Is
been
this
there
the place
before.
you told me has a dress code or something? Is this
Yeah,
my
yeah.
okay, okay,
So
okay. For
if you
dinner or something,
are
right?
if you're on the main like parlor level floor,
Right?
after 6:30 p.m., you have to be in a suit and tie,
Wow.
and not just a suit. It has to have the tie. And actually, the
That's
tie is the
sounds
most
intense.
important part, I think.
Oh, gotcha. As
Um,
opposed to jacket, so it's collar and tie.
yeah, I think there were. Actually, now, no, it was probably a jacket and tie is the main thing for men.
Gotcha.
Women can wear. It seemed like there was no jeans, but they had basically they could wear anything they want.
Yeah, I mean they have
Um,
to suffer with the people who yeah are there with them, so it's fair.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
They have to suffer with
um,
you, obviously.
yeah.
Now, I spent my 2 weeks pretty much not using computers, and I'm
Nice.
wondering what yours was like.
I did bring my computer. I
Okay.
didn't really touch it other than one day, I think, in the week. So I did pretty good. And I didn't bring
Yeah,
my computer to Mackinac.
there you go. It feels like a lot of us are kind of going through this. Maybe there was like it feels like maybe a bit of a lull in model releases and harnesses and things like
Yep.
that. So a lot of us seem to have just taken a bit of a break
Yeah.
in the summer, which is kind of good. So
Yeah.
the announcements, I mean, there was Sol, which I've yet to touch. I'm sorry. I have played around with Fable prior to it
Hmm.
being removed and then post removal. I'm kind of nonplussed. I have to be honest about its performance, and it was just like I mean, it's nice out. It's
Yeah.
difficult. It's hard to compete with the sun, I guess, is
Yeah.
what it comes down to.
So one more thing about before Mackinac
Yeah,
Island, one of the
sorry.
magic things about it is that
Yeah.
it's an island that's I think they if you go around it, it's about 8 miles, so the
Okay.
circumference. Um, but there are no cars.
Oh wow.
So if you want to get around, I mean, there are some cars. Apparently, the fire department and paramedics have vehicles, but
Right.
and if you're certain types of handicap levels, then you can have some sort of motorized vehicle.
Like an
But other than
assisted
that,
device.
it is bikes and horses. And so
Wow.
Grand Hotel, it's a big hotel, huge. I mean,
Hmm.
it's a massive, yeah, pretty massive hotel. I think 400 rooms.
Right.
Um, and they get their deliveries by a horse-drawn cart.
Oh,
Um,
that is so cool.
yeah, yeah. So that was amazing. That was amazing. So anyway,
It's you who ends up watching a lot of the masterpiece theater kind of shows, right? Like
yeah.
it
Oh
reminds
yeah.
me of I'm trying to think of the one that was really popular on Apple TV, but one of the ones that is set in the past, this horse drawn and everything. But I do wonder, and maybe you don't know this, so it's unfair. I wonder if the island was because Detroit's very much a car city,
It is.
if I understand right,
Yeah.
because there are factories there. I wonder if the islands if it was like a response to the fact that there are
Hmm.
so many cars
The
everywhere.
Grand Hotel was built
Mhm.
in 1880 or 1870
Prior to cars, yeah, yeah,
prior
yeah.
to cars and hmm,
Might
prior
have
to
been
cars in US.
buggies.
I don't know when did cars show up in the
Right
US
around the turn of the
versus Europe.
century.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because it was Europe first, right?
that's my understanding. Yeah,
Um,
and then the T model took over
yeah.
the U.S.
Yeah. Um,
Interesting.
yeah, and cars have not been, allowed since. It was always
Yeah,
um, yeah.
I
It's
like that.
it's amazing. It's an amazing place. We were
Now,
considering we were already
mhm,
considering like getting a house for a couple weeks there. I was so entranced with the place. It was quite
Of
amazing.
course. Did you
Um,
based on the sorry, we'll preface this on the American alcoholic authors that I read when I was younger. Did you start writing a book at this hotel? Because like a lot of them would seek solitude where they could quote unquote be with their thoughts and maybe some bottles, and they would
I
write a book or two.
I do have a 7-year-old, so there was no time for book writing. There
Not even
was
like an AI generated
I
children's book. I'm
I
seeing a lot of
used
those on
I used
Amazon.
the new camera there, and I had a lot of fun with
Nice.
that. So,
Oh, fantastic.
um,
Fantastic. I will say in my 2 weeks off, the one tech thing that I did touch the most was a Lime scooter or a
mm,
few Lime scooters,
hmm
because I'm sure there are different ones. I I'll preface this with, listen, I understand they're very dangerous,
hmm
and I will wear my helmet all the
hmm
time going forward. I definitely did not the first couple times I read it, and then read some
yeah,
articles and scared the heck out of myself.
yeah,
But it is so fun. I think what happened is that just because Vancouver is like or was a FIFA city, it's not that important anymore. It was very busy downtown, and getting
mm,
anywhere in the car was actually quite difficult.
oh yeah,
And I saw a lot of people on the Lime scooters, and I thought, I could walk, but why don't I just try one
yeah,
of these? It was very, very fun. Like
yeah,
it felt like you can go at dangerous speed, which is
yeah,
probably what was fun. Also, dangerous speed without a helmet is probably a bad idea.
yeah,
But I think I really like the fact that I could just use the Uber app instead of some other app, and then just go in and
mm,
grab it and go. And it was pretty cheap. So the walk to the studio where I'm at today, and I did Lime here, I'm sorry, is typically like a 45-minute walk, which is like, it's
mm,
not too bad, but I'll do that on a regular basis, maybe once or twice a week as exercise. The problem is now I realize I can get here in 13 minutes if I take one of these scooters. So
yes,
this is no longer like an exercise goal. It's just
yes,
like, I can ride a scooter and have fun listening to music
right,
on my Ray-Bans, as
right,
opposed to yeah, this should be exercise as well as creativity. But here we are. The Lime scooters, I'm not going to say I'll go and buy one because they're
yeah,
cheap enough that it makes sense to just basically borrow someone
yeah,
else's. But I think the scooters, at least in Canadian dollars, are around 1,500 to 2,000. So
mm,
about 1,000 to 1,500 US dollars roughly, which is a lot considering
yeah,
each scooter ride is about $5 or $6. That's a
yeah.
lot of rides.
Yeah,
But that's the only
I
thing I've done.
tried to rent one only one time, and I had trouble with the app, and I could
Yeah.
the credit card, and this was I guess before any integration with Uber or anything like that.
Right.
It was and it was in Berlin.
Mm.
Um, and I mean they were all over the place, and people were going all. I mean, and that was the uh, 3 or 4 days before the IPO for Datadog IPO. So that's when it
Oh
was.
wow.
I just
Wow.
remember because I was in Berlin, and the IPO is we knew roughly when it was going to happen, and
Mhm.
then it was going to happen on the Friday, I think, or Thursday or Friday, and I was scheduled to come back from Berlin the next day, and they bought me a new ticket to happen the day before to be able to fly into New York for IPO.
Gotcha. Yeah,
Um,
because you were on the floor, right, when it
I was
happened?
yeah yeah
Yeah, that's
yeah
so
because
cool.
I was at the time there were only I don't know 15 people who were started before me,
That's
or
amazing.
15 or 20. Yeah, so
Did I ask you this before? Did you get to hold two phones or three phones? Yeah, on the stock market blog. I always love those photos of the people with they're
yeah,
trying to
yeah,
hold two
no,
phones.
I
Yeah.
stood behind one of them.
That's really cool.
So it
I
was
guess
amazing.
these days it's quite a bit different in the New York Stock Exchange. It's not the same
Yeah,
energy as it used to be in the 80s or 90s.
like in trading places.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was thinking of. Yes, everybody's
Yeah,
yelling at each other,
yeah,
waving like these numbers that they've written
yeah,
down. Yeah.
mm,
So I think the only thing that I've played around with, aside from Fable and the scooters, is just trying to figure out how to get back into, or not really
mm,
played around. Idea that I've toyed around with is how to get back into wanting to play around with AI. And I think when I talk to people, a lot of what I'm hearing is that like one, uh, the question is like, if I build it, will I use it? If I build it, who am I building it
hmm
for? Or maybe in terms of testing, I've run out of problems to test the
yeah,
Gen AI with, or at this point in time, I just need to get work done and I've got things
yep,
scheduled in N8N or what have you, and it just works. So I don't touch it. Like
yeah,
I mean, what I'm hearing from a lot of people is that there's not a lot of appetite for a model that's quote unquote smarter. I mean, I think we both realize they're not smart, but they
Right.
can certainly generate
Yeah.
things that
Yeah.
look like intelligence. And I guess maybe I'm on the other end of that spectrum. Is the only thing I was enjoying was very difficult problems, and as a result, getting back into them is
Mm,
difficult. And I'm having a hard time sort of cajoling myself into
right.
doing this as a result, because I know once I started, it's just not going to stop again. I'll be up
Yeah.
until
Yeah.
2 or 3 a.m., et
Yeah.
cetera, et cetera. What is your approach? What is your plan?
I don't know. I mean, I've been kind of out of it for a couple weeks, and the only
Hmm.
things that I've played around with. Well, there's a few things I played around with recently. Um, N8N now
Hmm.
has in the UI, even self-hosted or hosted. I think hosted and self-hosted. You can go to the AI agent view or something like that, and it basically looks like a Chat GPT, but
Oh,
in N8N, and its main purpose is to build workflows, and so
ah,
it is
instead of an MCP server, et cetera, et
right.
cetera, et cetera.
Before there
Ah,
was the MCP server that you could work
yeah,
with
yeah,
Hermes
yeah,
or Pi or whatever, and that's what I was
right.
using with Pi. But now you can just skip the whole Pi thing or Hermes or any of those and just build it all in N8N, and that's pretty awesome. It's
It
still I think
seems
it's
like
still early, but it's
gotcha.
awesome.
This is the idea I think you and I were talking about maybe 3 years ago. Is like when we get the sort of native app AI. So like
Yeah,
an AI in the app that understands how to do things like move a box or like
yeah,
connect a box to another box. Because otherwise it's pointless just to shuffle JSON back and forth between the
yeah.
model and the yeah. It's like then you look at it, then you adjust it again.
Hmm.
This feels like an eventuality. I'm surprised it took so long for N8N of all
Yeah.
companies to
Well,
get
it's
here. I
not.
hate to say that.
It's so before with any of these other tools, um, with Pi or any of the
Mhm.
agents, give it a prompt, and then it will generate. It's essentially generating a JSON document, and
Right.
then using MCP to upload that JSON document to N8N, and boom, done. But now with this one, start the question, and it opens up a separate canvas in the
Oh,
UI, and you can see the
interesting.
nodes being added and more dynamically, more
I see.
interactively,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and being able to select them and say, well, for this one, I want to. So you have
Oh, it
it has
understands the
the
context of
context of
selections.
what
Yeah,
you're
yeah, yeah.
selecting. Um, so that's pretty, that's just great. It's just
But
great.
I mean, this is it, right? This is
Yeah,
what we're talking about. Like when we first saw cursor and you could select text
yeah,
and ask a question and it knew what was selected under the
right.
cursor or like which tab was highlighted. Yeah,
Yeah,
this is where I want whatever Illustrator becomes or whatever
yeah,
Photoshop becomes
yeah,
to be the next thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you have some of that like in what are the tools? There's pen and there's pencil and there's all these other ones
Right.
where you can like select things and say, I want this kind of style to happen the rest of the app, or and and it understands the context of what you've selected, which is great. Um, I guess I'm trying to think of other apps that do that. I mean, you always think of the IDE. I mean, that's been
Hmm.
the given since Tab 9 first started all this stuff on
Hmm.
the IDE. But uh, I I can't say I mean I
There are
remember
many.
yeah.
Descript is one that I think about
Oh
a
yeah, of
lot, but
course. Yeah.
also or Descript, but it doesn't necessarily have that same integration everywhere.
Right.
Some of it, I don't want to say is lazy, but if you select text and then right click, like the right
Mm,
click is the context menu for something that you've selected. So that
yep.
feels like a bit of a gimme, I guess,
Yeah.
as opposed to when we're talking about a text editor when you're in a
Yep.
different field typing and such. But it does. I think the other one that I expected to be here, but is dragging its heels, maybe is Notion, where I
Hmm.
feel like Notion could have much more than the concept of a workspace or a document or a block.
Right.
And some of this is just the way it's built, right? Because it's like this
Right.
block build, they build based on blocks.
Right.
So I get that. Also, be cool if that
Yeah.
wasn't necessary whatsoever. Um, and then I think I want to be nice to Google here, but like Google Slides, Google Docs has things that approach this,
Yeah.
but unfortunately, just I'm trying not to swear, but like they're just awful. Just like
Yeah.
they
I mean, so
fail
many of
all the
them,
time.
like I'm often thinking the video editors, they are
Right.
generating the XML document, and then when it's all done, upload it to and then it's like imported, rather
Yeah.
than this interactive
Just use the app.
actions. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's. I mean, I guess that's kind of hard to do in apps that have existed for 20 years, like Premiere or DaVinci Resolve or Final Cut. Um, but I guess N8, that's probably what has held N8N back for a while, is just having that UI that adapts. And
Yeah.
yeah,
You
it's
gotta. I think that's a big thing. Is that like a lot of the sorry, I'm trying not to throw everybody under the bus again today, but like when we're looking at ChatGPT canceling their Atlas browser, and I had to be like the only fan of this browser, and I used it for not devious things. Like, listen,
right,
I wasn't sneaker shopping or anything like that, but like that's what it was good for.
right,
Actually, sorry, disclaimer is that people used it for nefarious things, like is something in
yeah,
stock, or can I do something on a repetitive basis? And it was really good for this until it realized that you're doing something nefarious.
right.
And I was like, sorry, I can't help you complete this.
Hmm,
But those kind of tools wouldn't be necessary if it understood every website that it was on. Do you know what I
right,
mean? Like you don't need to encapsulate the entire website in a browser in order to do stuff on the site. You can
right.
do that with an API or what have you. But what I think I'm hearing, and this is an assumption on my part, is that if you build a nice GUI in something like N8N, and you don't necessarily have like all the tags and stuff like that in there for you to be able to have like another app grab those buttons and do things,
Right.
then you end up having to build all that. And it feels like someone said this, I think it was 2 years ago, but like AI should make internet, oh, I can't even say it, I18N and A11Y, so
Oh
accessibility and
yeah,
internationalization, easier.
right.
And I think it maybe has, but these kind of problems to me speak to like if somebody was using a screen reader to use N8N, they probably need the same things that the
Mm,
AI would need to use
right,
N8N. And I
right.
wonder if that's all it was missing. And I'm
Hmm,
saying all like is doing a lot of work here, but
yeah,
like
yeah,
I wonder if that is a big piece that was missing. Because when I'm looking at Photoshop and things like that, I'm wondering if those are the same kind of problems. Like, do I
right,
need to give it like a list of all the keyboard shortcuts for every language and maybe like keyboard layout? Like, is that
right.
the thing holding Illustrator and Photoshop back? Because it feels like that's the case. It doesn't feel like it's a problem with the GUI or the AI understanding where the cursor is. It's just like it's not made to be used
Yeah,
by something that can't quote unquote see the screen.
right.
It can just use buttons, etc. And again, it feels like Electron might have a bit of a leg up here because it's web based and all those Electron apps should be easier. But
Right.
I don't know. Like, listen, have you used Xcode? Speaking of like an IDE that's stuck in the past,
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, but they're having a hard time, is like squeezing Claude into a
Yeah.
place that's usable because right now it's just a text box and it's not
Yeah.
useless, but it feels like it's aged.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I used it with Ollama for a while, like trying it
Right.
out. And because it felt like that was the approach to do any sort of, if you want to do iOS development. I mean, I
Right.
don't know much about iOS development, but wouldn't it be cool if I could? And it seems that still the best process is to start your project in Xcode and then open the files from VS Code or
I was about
whichever
to recommend the
manage.
exact
Yeah,
same thing. Yeah, you got it. Like start
yeah,
the project, get all the Apple like
yep,
signing stuff all
yeah,
done, and then basically jettison that app as
yeah,
fast as possible and blast off elsewhere.
right,
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but yeah, that
yeah,
does seem to be the case, and it feels like it's not like Visual Studio is getting a little bit
right,
better, for example, but it's not there yet. But there are a number of apps that I kind of also wanted to talk about the Apple app subscription just for a quick
hmm,
second, if that's okay. Speaking of apps that are starting to get AI in there, it feels to me that they're gearing up to like what the question I've got in the back of my head is the new Apple Media apps. Why would I pay a monthly fee for them? Like
mm,
what would I get on a monthly basis that I would pay for them as opposed to paying yearly? And I hate to say in my brain, all I could think of is AI features, and that's what I assume. Once
hmm,
once Apple finally figures out AI, they'll start adding it in. And the question I had in my brain is like, what would AI features in a drawing app or a photo app or
hmm,
et cetera, video editing app look like? And I think this is exactly where you and I are both landing. Is like what
yeah,
is Premiere doing now? What is oh shoot, what's the other one? It's not free, but it's the Black Magic. Sorry,
DaVinci Resolve.
DaVinci Resolve. I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
Like, what does Resolve currently have? Or I
right.
think even Premiere has like it can do captions, for example, on the fly
Right,
using Gen
right.
AI, which is actually like a really handy tool,
Yeah,
especially
and
if you can
that
translate between
feature
them.
in Final Cut is great too. That was added a
There you
couple
go.
weeks ago. So
Now, sorry. Now here is where I want to. Okay, so I think I now own all the apps. The
hmm
question I have is, do I get that update as a paid app enjoyer, or do I have to be like a paying app enjoyer to get these AI features?
I think all of that in Final Cut
In
specifically,
Final Cut?
you get if you've done the one time $299
Okay.
even 20 years ago, 15 years ago.
Hmm.
Um, uh, but for some of the, it looked like some of the integrations with Pixelmator, it
Right.
looked like I couldn't see that it showed up because I was on the one
Oh,
time purchase of all those
right,
things.
right. Same.
And I didn't see the integration with Pixelmator, and so that was finally the impetus for me to subscribe to the it's $120 a year for the
Which
Creator Studio, whatever.
which really isn't a lot. Like I'm complaining. I'm not saying it's pennies, but
Yeah,
for that many apps for that price, it's not
yeah,
much.
yeah,
I guess I'm wondering about the product management kind of
yeah,
aspect here, right? Because I know they're sitting on all these AI features that they
right,
want to like release on the masses, but also I
right,
know they want to land at the same time.
yeah, um, yeah.
So you're still
So
using Pixelmator?
I do. I use Pixelmator a lot.
Fantastic.
Pixelmator Pro or whatever.
I own it
And
and have booted it twice.
oh, okay. Oh, I use it a lot. I use it a lot, and because it's always had since before Apple bought them, Pixelmator's had a good integration with Motion, so you could export Pixelmator directly to Motion instead
Gotcha.
of
I didn't
doing
know
any
that.
motion graphics. I mean, you could either use After Effects or Motion. They're pretty much. I mean, After Effects people will say, "Oh, there's no comparison," when actually they're pretty much. There's nothing you can do in After Effects that you can't do in Motion. You just do it differently.
Just different
Um,
ways, yeah.
yeah, but well, other news.
Hmm.
If I can mention,
This is all I'll get to
uh,
rant about. Yeah, I've thrown
so
everybody under the bus.
Ollama had some big news.
Other than GLM 5.2?
Other than they did a second round of
Okay.
funding.
Oh, I didn't know that. Shoot.
So they bumped up to they added another 66 million for their second round
Wow.
to bring the total to 88 million. And it's the same main people. So Peter, well, I can't remember his last name, at Benchmark Capital is the main
Mm.
guy, but 8BC and a few others, and a bunch of smaller people in that round, including
That
there were
one.
a bunch of people like Solomon Hikes, I think, but
Yeah, Docker.
because
Yeah.
I think he was an early person too. So yeah, it's pretty exciting that I did, when that first round happened, it seemed like, well, there's going to be runway for a long time, but then they
Right.
started buying all these graphics cards for
And hosting
and
stuff, yes.
I don't know the details of how much was, but a lot of money
Are
must
we
have.
still on? I hate to break down the numbers. Are we still on 10x pricing? Have we moved to 100x?
Hmm.
Like, are they at like is it like $1 billion valuation, or is it like a $10
Yeah,
billion
I don't. They didn't
valuation?
say anything about
Okay.
valuation,
Okay. Fair, fair, fair.
so I don't know.
Because I would assume $1 billion
Yeah,
valuation, just in old time math. And for $1 billion, the question is like, what's your total addressable market share,
right.
or like how much you paying? Napkin math, $10 per user per month. Let's say $100
hmm
per year. You got to make up this money. How many users do you
Yeah,
need to have in order to like get to that point? So I think what they're saying is they think, and this is just me, like again, napkin mathing.
yeah,
They think that they can get enough users to use their product in order to justify this over many years.
right.
I would assume because it's so low, again, no offense, man,
Mm-hmm.
that they're thinking that it's just handy for people who are developers, basically,
Mm-hmm.
and that it's a certain cadre of
Right.
developers. I feel like the TAM is bigger than that, but like
Right.
again, this is earlier days, so
Yeah.
it's hard to say. But it does. Again, I'm not an investor. I just
Yeah.
feel like Ollama has more utility outside of a
Yeah. I mean,
billion-dollar company.
it was the original goal was, or the original target was always the developer. And
That makes sense.
I think because of all the other tools that have been built up around Ollama, that has definitely expanded a lot
Right.
to more. I mean, there are definitely a lot of people who don't know anything about development or command line or any of that stuff, and they don't want to know.
Correct. Correct.
Um, and
Like you see people talking about making Excel sheet format
yeah,
functions in
yeah,
Ollama on Twitter. Sorry, I just
yeah,
like randomly saw it. Like it's just people will use this kind of stuff for all types of
yeah,
fiction, movie scripts, what
yep.
have you. Yeah. But it does feel like the TAM is difficult right now because we're not sure who's going to be
TAM
using
being
what
total
where.
addressable market.
Sorry, total addressable market. Yes.
Yeah.
So if your market is developed, this is one of those things. Like how many developers are there in the world is one of those
Right.
big things. But like if we assume it's just developers as opposed to all humans, then you
Right.
can say like, okay, how many developers are there in the world? Is it like 1% of humans? Is it
Yeah.
like 0.1%? What have you? And then you can sort of whittle back like what your TAM might be.
Yeah.
We can contrast this with like a chat GPT who would tell you that they think that everyone on earth should use their product.
Right.
I think. Or maybe if you were to talk to Anthropic, they would say safely.
Yeah.
Basically
Yeah.
the same sort of thing. So the question, I guess, is like how that TAM would measure up to one of the big providers.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels like it's small in comparison,
Mm-hmm.
or we could say cautious. But yeah, this is awesome news, obviously. Yeah. Fantastic. Are you still using the hosted models? I mentioned one, but I want to. Okay, so the one that I did not play around with was Ornith, but I think that launched before you. Have you played with that at all?
A little bit.
I read about the architecture, and I thought. I guess what's stuck in my brain as someone who hasn't played with it is that it's touted as self-improving, basically. Which, okay, that same reaction you had is the same reaction I had. It's like self-improving for a hosted model would be difficult.
Yeah.
I think. I think. Okay.
Yeah. No. There's
So
a lot
like,
of things people say in a news article or in a marketing article. I don't see any. There's no mechanism for that to happen.
Right. Okay. So there's a couple of things in here that I thought were interesting. One is that it's a mixture of experts, and I think aside from model routing, I think mixture of experts without a model router seems to be like a pretty good strategy so far. Mistral, listen, is good or bad as they are, whatever. Their MOE models were actually pretty good compared to the amount of memory that they use. I think most people would have a hard time disagreeing with that. Ornith does have MOE models. It also has sort of the monolithic models. I guess we were just going to say like whatever the single expert models. I guess what I get really, and maybe this is again just me looking at, is that it uses a self-improving training framework that jointly learns to solve tasks and to construct the scaffolds, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, rather than relying on fixed human design harness. Awesome. I think that's fantastic. But I don't think the model itself being hosted as like a static artifact is like, and again, I'd love to be proven wrong, but I feel like what we're going to need to see is Ornith 1.0 move to like a 1.1 or a 1.2 or something like that. And I don't know how long that takes between improvement cycles based on what they're saying. But basically, I'm very excited about this. The proof will be in the pudding when the next update comes out in terms of like how it learns from what we're doing. I think we've all realized that we are training the corpus while paying these companies to help train their data, basically. And that like some of the questions that we've given them, they've gotten better at because we're now part of the trading data. I totally get that. I feel like this applies here and it's not that much different, but what I do like is the MOE. The fact we've got another MOE model out there because the amount of memory that you use, which is like at a premium right now, is smaller and the amount of essentially juice that you get out of it seems to be better. it might be a little bit slower as a result, unfortunately, because there's some routing in there. Anyway, that's my experience. I've got to kick the tires on this one because I am very
Right.
excited. The other one was GLM 5.2, which I did play around with a little bit, but not. It it felt like the equivalent of Opus 4.6 or 4.7. I'm not sure if I said that last time we talked, but that's kind of what I got out of it. And it was like a tenth of the cost. Not only that, but like if you're paying for Ollama, again, sorry, Ollama folks, but like your product seems rather cheap at the moment. For the cloud version, you could get quite a bit out of GLM 5.2, which I thought.
Now, there are definitely plenty of people on the Discord that will say, "Oh, well, they blew their month, use in like in 10 minutes." It's like, I don't think you can. I mean, no. First off, there's
have done that, but you have to have at least 15 agents in my experience, because it wasn't 12 and it wasn't 10.
And you run out of the. I mean, there's a maximum you can do in a 4-hour or whatever period,
right?
And it's well below what you can do in a month. So okay, maybe you blew away 4 hours, but even then, it's probably
you literally
because
can't.
You are sending a million token contexts every single time, which is just, I mean, you don't need, I mean, you're just being stupid about how you use the tool. But I think that not being stupid, you just don't understand. And because so many people who are using these tools are not the core developer audience. And so they don't, it's not that they, it's not like they're stupid. They're just not familiar with the concepts and don't know what they don't know.
Now listen, I don't want to sound like a paid shill here or anything, but there is a company that I also work for. I'm related. They've got a tool called Lapdog, which is free. Have you heard of this before?
I have not.
Lapdog gives you telemetry for the common coding agents, which can be front ends for Ollama. So like, don't get too excited. But I think the goal is to give you a little bit more visibility as to what the heck that your context is, the tokens are that are going out to the providers, and like what's in them. It runs with Cloud Code, Codex, Pi, and I think it can use Ollama as well if you're using the command line CLI. I don't know about the app itself, having not played with it. But what it will do is allow you to basically intercept or add telemetry to some of the telemetry that's coming out of it, and give you like a HUD, like a heads up display of what's happening in your coding engine. Anyway, neither here nor there, but try it out. You might like it, because I feel like, and this isn't a Datadog thing, but I feel like this type of data, maybe if it's in the agent, should be exposed to the user. Listen, it's cool. There's a plugin. You can see stuff. That's awesome. Wouldn't it be great if people wouldn't have to go to the forums and say, Ollama banned me for a month because I don't know what I'm doing? I feel bad for the user as well. I think Datadog's trying to help there, but like, honestly, where I want to see this is kind of the same way I see it in like a Cursor. Or like a Windsurf, to bring up a name I haven't used in a minute. But I want to see that Quota stuff on the bottom left, and I want to be able to click into it. And I want to see, like, when I'm going to do a session like this may adversely affect your quota. You may not be able to use Ollama for a whole month. I doubt that's the case. It's probably 4 hours, but like, I want that kind of built in.
Yeah, and because you don't have the knowledge, you're probably using one API key across all the different agents, and so you don't know where the problem is happening. And so if this gives you will give you a view of how all the agents are working on your
it'll give you a view of what's happening right now for the agents that are running. But it's not like, I mean, Datadog obviously can do all of that, but in terms of the free Lapdog app that runs, it's my understanding
so it's an
is
app
like
that runs Well, I have a video that I'm actually going to put out this week. It's
on this tool? Amazing.
Not on Lapdog, but on N8N has support for OpenTelemetry.
Oh, right. Okay. So yes.
And so it's I was worried that this was going to be awkward to set up. It is like 2 checkboxes in N8N, and an API key, and that's it, and it just works. It took a while for, that anytime you start a new, I remember this from my time at
Mhm.
Datadog. Anytime you have a new integration added to your account, sometimes it takes half
It
hour,
should
an
be 5 minutes.
hour, and 2 hours, some
It should be
random
five
amount of
minutes.
time. I know it should
Yes.
be, but it
Yes.
often isn't, and you're like frustrated. Well, what did I do wrong? Well, you didn't do anything wrong. You just got to wait for that first time, and then once it's going in, it's like instantaneous. As soon as a workflow runs in N8N, it
Right.
gets pushed up. And now, I mean, there's some problems with it. There's you can do the what's the thing where it doesn't send every packet, but it sends like
Sampling.
sampling. Yeah, but
Mhm.
sampling is only at a you can set the level for the whole server rather than
Oh, per
sampling
task
per
and per job.
workflow.
Yeah.
It
I
would
see
be
what you're
nice
saying.
if I could say, well, this is an important one. Send all the packets,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but this one, send 20%. That would be nice.
And like obviously with an agent you can do all this stuff. I
Yeah,
do wonder though, are you using the OTLP endpoint? Does that ring a bell? Because you
yeah,
mentioned just adding an API key. So that it
yeah,
sounds like that's what's happening, which is
yeah.
phenomenal. Ah, I love it. Because that's I think this point is what we've been trying to get to for a long time.
Hmm.
And again, not just Datadog, but like everybody. If you're using OTel, we want people to be able to like quote unquote bring their own OTel and this
Hmm.
sort of like point it at the provider and collect it. It feels like those days are here now. And
Yeah,
this may be one of the first examples I've heard of where
yeah.
it's like in the app and does that, which is phenomenal. But I'm
The
looking forward to basically, I'm looking forward to this happening in every app we ever
the
touch. I want that
documentation
telemetry. I want to, oh, yeah.
the documentation for
Was it our
Datadog
docs or their
sucks.
docs? Oh,
Documentation for
it's getting
Datadog
better.
sucks.
It's getting better. Okay, fair.
It was
You can edit it. It's open source. There's an edit button, but
it
yes,
it
fair.
made it. I had to like almost ignore what I thought I was reading because I thought it
Mm,
was saying I have to set up a separate piece of software as kind of a proxy. I was like, I
right.
don't think that's weird. Let me just
It
try without.
it it may actually say
And
that.
I have to and I have to do I have to set the there's like some string I have to set to LLM ops. And if I didn't have it at LLM ops, it didn't work. What's up with that?
is that is that true?
I don't know. I don't know enough to
Okay.
know.
I mean, this definitely sent my way. If you get anything in there that says it
Okay.
have to tag it with LLM underscore
I mean, I
OBS, which is what I think you're saying,
yeah,
send
I
my
was
way.
LLM OPS. I don't think there was maybe there was an underscore. I don't know.
Okay.
Um, but
Fair.
uh, but then that was also in that 2 hour time period where I wasn't seeing anything, and so it could have just been I could have had anything in there. But no. I think after I had it going, I like changed it from LLM ops to my cool N8N, and it didn't see any of those.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
had to be
It just to be nice. I have also seen similar issues with this exact same app within Datadog. So I'm not
mhm,
saying that you're holding it wrong. And I'm not saying we're at fault, but
mm,
this is a newer product. Let's say
yes,
it. And having worked at Datadog, I
yep,
think you know that
yes,
with newer things come it can be
yes,
fraught with frustration.
yes.
This, however, I think, at least in my experience, is something I've come across where
Okay,
I know the data is being sent. I can see the data in
yeah,
Datadog using the metrics explorer, but sometimes it's also not on the dashboard. And it's not that it's incorrect, but it's tagged incorrectly, which is what I think you're
yeah,
saying. And that does mimic my experience. So yes,
yeah.
I'd love to know more. We'll definitely dig into it. But again, not to just talk about Datadog here, just to like punch out just a little bit because there are other companies, but it to me it feels like people are trying to scramble as monitoring companies to say that they're AI native, and
Right,
we're not alone.
right,
There are other new companies who have come up during this
right.
period. There are older companies pointing the finger at other companies
Yeah,
saying that their infrastructure can't handle, and it's like, well, I don't know, can yours, and listen, like all of this is normal, is part and
right.
parcel of like something coming into the industry
Yep,
and really changing it. It's like
right.
I think people were saying a step change or what have you, or maybe you could say it's disrupting. It is like an obvious disruption in this case. The question I think we've got is like, It's like, so what? Like
Yeah.
what does the next generation platform look like? And I'm kind of here to say like ML observation, which is what we're talking about,
Hmm.
or agent observability, which is what I think the new name is a step in that direction, but it's difficult to pick the direction. I guess is
Right.
what I'm trying to like. This whole ramble is like, it's difficult to build a platform when you don't know what the future looks like, and
Right.
it's hard to do anything other than look at the agent telemetry, which is what we're talking about, in
Hmm.
order to get a feel for what's happening
Right.
as a whole. Because to bring up like another topic, because you don't know, like, are they writing code? Are they doing recipes? Are they like just running workflows and N8N? Are they
Hmm.
using their AI instead of N8N, which is an
Hmm.
anti-pattern I see all the time? It's like, no, there's like
Yeah.
there's actual software. You use the
Yeah.
software. And it's hard to say because people are coming at this from they may have been in the AI space for about 3 years, so they got bad habits. They may be
Right.
new to the space, so they don't have good habits. And
Right.
then you've got people who I don't want to say have no business programming like myself, who are like, let's just see how bad C is. Like how
Hmm.
dangerous is memory
Right.
manipulation?
Right.
And you're out here like writing like pretty deep stuff, but you have no business like doing
Yeah.
that. Also dangerous. And like all of this is all in one big smorgasbord, and people are using Claude until they run out of credits, and then they're going over to OpenAI, and then they're using like Pi because someone said that was better and had better. They're
Right.
running all this at the same time, which is what I think you were asking about
Hmm.
earlier. The
Yeah.
question is like, what details do we need to pull out of this morass, this like
Hmm.
swamp of data, other than like how many tokens have you used and what did it
Right.
cost? Like that seems to be the only thing everyone can agree on now. This is definitely like my monitoring AI rant, and I don't know where to go with this, but that's all I got is like
Yeah. But
context and tokens.
then so that's the way most it's around tokens is how most of
Right,
the providers charge, whereas
right,
Ollama doesn't charge on tokens. It's charging on
right,
CPU time
right.
or GPU time, processing time.
Processing
Um,
time. Yeah.
and different models are more taxing than others. And so you could go through 10,000 tokens in or 100,000 tokens in one model versus another model, and you'll see different costs. Um,
And listen, I talk bad about Anthropic a bunch. My understanding is they have a new tokenizer for Sonnet 5, which is like
mm,
33%, uh, we'll say less efficient, but like more costly as a
yeah.
result of it making tokens slightly bigger, is my understanding.
Mm,
So there's like, there are more tokens as a result, but it's like you can zip better based
mm,
on what I'm understanding. But you run out of context faster with
right.
Sonnet 5 now. And downgrading to 4.6 feels like you get more for, like, it's very difficult. Like, if you're changing the metric of what a meter is, or miles, and you're
Hmm.
doing like your miles per gallon calculation, then it's really not fair when the whole playing field is changing.
Right.
Anyway, billing is difficult right now. And
Yeah.
it feels like the time based approach is maybe smart until you get into like the flowery responses you get back from
Hmm.
Gen AI as well, which are like really polite and verbose, and like like, actually I just need the answer. Like, how many R's are there in strawberry? Like,
Yeah.
none of this is important. Anyway, I totally agree that like it seems like they're going to the time based billing approach. I'm not sure. I'm not sure that's the right way to
Yeah.
do it. But also, in Ollama's defense, I can't think of a righter way of
Yeah.
doing it. It's impossible.
Yeah. Um,
Do we? Yep. Go ahead.
Sort of AI related, but not specific to this topic.
Hmm.
Did you see there was I think it was Brown University.
Hmm.
Got, maybe I have the wrong university, but there was an economics class.
Hmm.
Um, the Was it Brown? Anyway, last December, there was I think, a shooting on campus.
Oh wow.
And so this semester they said, okay, well, because people are nervous, again, maybe the wrong university, but people are
Hmm.
nervous, so the exams are going to be take
It's
home.
Brown.
Are
Yeah,
going to be
all
take
this
home,
checks out.
and so it's like he got more people signing up for this course than any time in history. He's done this course for like 30 years, um, and it's like, well, this is a popular course. This is good. This is great.
Hmm.
And so the midterm exam comes in. There are the average is 60 to 80%. That's the average score over the
Right.
last 30 years. This
Right.
time, the average score was like 95%. So every
96. Yeah.
96%.
Your recollection of facts
Everybody
is pretty good. Yeah.
is doing great, and he's like, meh.
Hmm.
In fact, he made it harder than usual because people have more time to do it. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't think this is true, and so
The math isn't
the
mathing out.
graders pass the questions into ChatGPT themselves, and their answers were very similar to the answers they got in the
Hmm.
take-home exams. I was like, oh, well, maybe you all cheated. And so they said, okay, fine. We're gonna do for the final exam. Just to, if everybody gets
Right.
the same score, then the midterm will count. But if everybody gets a different score, the midterm's not going to count, and everything's going to be based on this final. And at this final exam, you have to come into class to do it, and you've got a finite amount of time to do this test. And instantly, like 20 people drop the class.
18. Again, your recollection of facts is pretty good. Yeah. Like a
And
quarter ish.
yeah,
About a quarter
but
of
then a
drop
bunch
it.
of people
Yeah.
didn't drop it and just didn't
Right.
show up. And there were like one or two people that got the same score on the midterm as they got on the final. It was like 95 or 90. In fact, they did better in the final exam, but everyone else did a whole lot worse. I mean, there were like
Imagine.
everybody had a 95%, and now some people were getting 10%. Yeah, it was. It's like, chances. It seems like y'all cheated, and so it was a big deal.
Now, what
I'm very
bothers me
relieved that I
here.
got all the facts right. I don't have it in front of me. This is great.
Yeah, I had to look it up because I just wanted to make sure we had the right unit. Because Brown
Yeah,
is pretty well respected, I
yeah,
think, in the
yeah,
U.S. Right?
yeah.
Is it Ivy or it's not too close?
Is Ivy-ish? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay. I thought so. Brown's like nothing
yeah,
to scoff at. Okay. The quote I wanted to put out there is, "We cannot choose to become idiots," which I
yes,
thought
yeah,
was phenomenal
yeah,
because there's a thing about university, and one of the things is that it's a business, and it's
yeah,
really weird. But like, you pay the university to go to the university, not for them to get you a piece of paper,
right.
which is like handy, but actually so that, like, year 2, year 3 in your job, you don't
Yeah,
get fired or let go or what have you, because you can adapt, you're smart, you can deal with stuff.
hmm,
And economics is pretty important,
yeah.
it's going forward. I thought this was a phenomenal read. So the one that I read was on Inside Higher Ed.
That's the
I
one. Yeah,
have a feeling. Okay, I had a feeling you read the same one because the beats were the same. Basically, the
yeah,
tempo was the same as you were telling the story. But I thought it was. I thought the solution was excellent,
right,
basically. And I guess the thought to me was, like, how many of you who used AI to cheat on this would be able to come up with a way to
right.
find out who the cheaters were and weren't? Because I was like, this is actually, it's well thought out. The other is that it sounds like there were only 3 or 4 people in the class who, one, like, cared about it and
Yeah,
studied properly and
yeah,
did well, which means that the majority of them kind of didn't
yeah.
care.
Just saw it as rocks for jocks kind of thing.
Yeah.
Um,
Rocks for jocks. I think you taught me that.
Geology, yeah.
Yeah, it's like the second time I've
Yeah.
ever heard this, but I love that. Yeah. Um,
And yeah, I saw that in one of the newsletters I got, and
mhm,
at first I saw another person's name associated with it. I thought, oh, this is written by somebody I know. It was a guy
mhm.
that named Dare Obasanjo, um,
Okay.
and I I had worked at Microsoft at the same time as him. I thought,
Mhm.
oh, but then I look at the article. It has nothing to do with him. I guess he just recommended the article to the newsletter, and
Gotcha.
like,
Oh,
oh,
there you go.
so I started down a different route, but it still was a fascinating article.
It absolutely was. Yeah.
Yeah,
Very well written as well.
yeah,
So it's
yeah.
insidehighered.com. I would highly recommend. I did have one checkout.
Mm,
Um, so as discussed, I've been on the scooter. It's Vancouver. It has been warm here. I am wearing
hmm,
shorts, not for the first time in my life, but
yeah,
like, I don't wear shorts a lot.
no,
And I normally, if wearing shorts, will have zipped pockets because I detest shorts so much because they lose all of your things,
right.
is one of the main reasons I don't like shorts. I like having a lot of pockets, like maybe cargo shorts is
Hmm,
the thing for me. I yeah, someone I talked to about it recently told me that you can find this on Taobao for $1. I bought the Apple wallet
Oh,
that
okay.
it says it's got an AirTag in it. It absolutely does not. It or suppose Find My.
Find my, yeah,
It understands when it's not on the back of the phone.
right,
It understands nothing else, and
yeah,
it's like, oh, you dropped your wallet $5.
yeah,
No, it's still in my pocket. It's in the other pocket, but
yeah,
it's still with me. Don't worry. So I got this because I thought, you can put it on your phone and it's all goes together, and you got everything together while scootering. I actually really enjoy it. It fits about 3 cards. Can't fit more than that.
hmm,
But it has been fantastic so far
yeah,
for the things that aren't Apple Pay or if I need my ID
right,
or what have you. But if you're trying to like minimize the amount of stuff you get in your wallet and you're already using that like 3 card
right.
wallet and you're in the Apple ecosystem, like I hated this thing for years, but I gotta say it's actually super
Yeah,
convenient. So I like it.
cool.
That is my checkout. And it was
I
like 70 Canadian dollars. Sorry, like way
yeah,
more than $1 on Taobao.
yeah. So I have two. First thing
Okay.
is in my pocket right now.
Okay. Is it
Um,
your pocket? Because your pocket's in your pocket. I'm not
it
sure
is
if you
not
you knew.
in my. It is not my pocket,
It's
but
not your pocket.
this. So last week I was in on Mackinac Island and I was in
Yep.
Michigan. And it was
Yep.
really hot in Michigan, and
Yeah.
even around here, it's definitely warmer in on Bay Bridge Island than it normally is.
Hmm.
So having so I don't know if you've noticed, but I have a little bit less hair, just a touch less hair than you. I mean, it's you
Okay.
can't see the long, luxurious mane, but there's a
In the
lot of
back, there's a big long
yeah,
ponytail.
yeah.
You're killing
So
me.
I always Sella, our daughter, says you have no hair. It's like, oh, can't you see my long, luxurious mane? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
You have hair.
I have a hat, and I keep it in my pocket. It's flat
Okay.
and it's tiny, but it folds out to be a full
Oh,
hat. And so it's not the
nice.
best looking hat, but it works great. And
But
because it's got
you're
this
gonna
folding
burn your head, right?
it's got this folding
Yeah.
brim and it's just great.
Yeah.
So this is one from Outdoor Research. I got it, I don't know, five,
I
6 years ago. And it's
I
amazing.
have. I have the blue version of that hat. I was about to
Okay.
say, I'm pretty sure I've got a hat very similar to that. Who's made
This
by.
is amazing.
I didn't know. I thought it was Oregon Running or something like that because the logo is OR. I didn't know what
Right.
it stood for. I got it at you would say Marshalls, we say Winners, but basically
Okay.
like one of those places that sells discount stuff.
Uh-huh.
And I've had it for years, and it's
Yeah.
phenomenal.
It's great.
That's
I mean it's so
yeah,
light. It stops my head from burning and it's
yeah,
amazing.
right on. I like it.
So that's my first one. The second one is so we didn't do a show last week or the week before, but
Right?
the before that,
Yeah.
on that I said, oh, I'm tempted by a Leica, and I'm tempted by these things. I don't know what.
Yes. Yes.
And so I like as soon as the call was over, I
Yeah.
ordered another camera.
Like a Q2.
I did not get a Leica. I got this guy,
As in
which
S9?
this is a Lumix S9,
Oh, it is an S9. Okay.
and I absolutely love it. This
That's
is
not the normal lens, though, right?
this is not. So
Oh,
this
okay.
is
Sorry.
actually a lens that it's okay. I just got one. I mean, I got the 18 to 40 zoom autofocus with it because it was
Yeah.
only
Yeah.
to getting it without versus getting it with only added like $30 to the price.
Which
So
is
I was
really
like,
cheap for a
fine,
kit lens.
let me just get a
Yeah.
lens. But I haven't used it other than in the first like 2 hours because the camera came about 2 hours before this lens came. So I
Wow.
used it for 2 hours and then I haven't touched it since. And so
Fair.
this is not a fancy lens. This is,
Okay.
I think it's $180 on Amazon. This is from a company called Brightin Star.
Oh, yeah. Those are pretty good
They're
lenses,
pretty good
actually.
lenses.
Yeah.
So this is a
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
35 1.4,
Which is,
or
again,
35 2. No, it might
yeah. Yeah.
be
Yeah.
1.4. And it has either like the clicky stops for the aperture or a smooth one, so you can just switch it back and
Nice.
forth.
For video, yeah.
And it's fantastic.
Hmm.
I also have that I got more recently a 50 millimeter Jupiter 8. Do you know about those
Ooh,
lenses, Jupiter 8?
I do. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
Jupiters are like they're I
a
want to say
Soviet,
Soviet era.
Soviet
Yeah, sorry.
1960s.
Yeah.
And so that's that one I got just 4 or 5 days ago, and that's a lot of fun. I still prefer the 35, though I don't. I actually have another 35 coming. It's sitting in
Okay.
customs right now. It's been
Okay.
sitting in customs for 2 weeks. Hopefully,
Okay.
I get it in the next few days, and that's from a company called Mandler.
Ooh,
And
I've
so it's
not
the
heard of them.
Mandler 35, and that looks really interesting. But even this Brightin Star is just a lot of fun, and
I've heard nothing but good things. It's like 35 millimeter f 1.8, and it feels
1.4.
like 1.4. Sorry, and it feels like a lens. It is different, but it has like a similar mechanical feel to it,
Yep,
and we'll say optical character, meaning that the lens has some flaws, but like
yep.
it looks a certain way, which is pretty fun.
And
Did you play
and
with the film simulation or anything?
so yeah, I have
Okay.
there's this guy has a YouTube channel called like Ross Ross loves JPEGs or Ross does JPEGs or something like that, and
Okay.
he's got a bunch of LUTs that and film looks. So there's these
Nice.
you can have LUTs.
Sorry,
You
that's
can,
what I was thinking. It's like that's a filmy lens to me. Is what I have
yeah.
there.
So he has these LUTs, and then you can create my looks in on the Lumix
Ooh.
app that you can just synchronize to the camera, that will combine multiple LUTs at different
Oh.
percentages and different grain levels and sharpness levels and all
Ooh.
these things to create
Nice.
these really interesting kind of formulas for an overall look. And so I have one that's more black and white and one that's very close to a Kodachrome, and so I've just been that's all I've used, and it has made photography so much more fun than I've had
Right.
in a long time. I mean, I have a S5 2X that I'm talking to right
Hmm.
now. It's always behind the teleprompter I use.
Right.
I don't ever pull it out, and so I wanted something that was nice and small, and
Hmm.
I can't find any problems with it. I mean, the problem that a lot of people have with it, that there's no viewfinder, which I think is
Right.
fantastic. I
Right.
don't use the viewfinder. In fact, it does have a display on it, but I often turn the display around, so I don't even have that. And I just
Nice.
kind of, I'm using kind of, I hate the term zone focusing. I've always used was
Hmm.
it hyperfocal?
Hyperfocus.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So on F16 you put the infinity symbol on the
Hmm.
16 mark on one side, and now I know everything between 1 meter and infinity is
Exactly.
in focus, and then keep Sunny 16 in mind. So
Hmm.
if your ISO is 640, then you want to do 1/640th of
One
a
over
second
640. Yep.
um, at f16, and you're set.
Good to go.
And so, as long
Yeah.
as it's a sunny day. I mean, if it's you're walking through the woods, drop it by 3 or 4 stops, or
Yep.
increase by 4 stops, and then
Yeah.
you're going to have perfect exposure every single time, roughly. And so I'm
Hmm.
just like doing that. I'm not even bringing it to my. And the photos have been
Shooting from the hip, I think, is what we
fantastic.
say.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm only shooting JPEG. I haven't been shooting
Not even
RAW at
RAW
all.
plus JPEG.
Nope,
Okay,
I'm
that's I
purely
haven't gone
JPEG,
that far yet. Okay.
and
Okay.
the photos have been absolutely fantastic.
That's awesome.
And it synchronizes so quickly with my phone, so I can
Right.
download all the photos to my phone, and then I'm posting it straight to Instagram because it's fun. It is. I think. I I think it was marketed poorly when it came out because it seemed like they were saying it was a camera for beginners. This is totally not
Hmm.
a beginner camera. This is, and I don't, because of the one dial that you can turn. There's a dial back in the back, but really
Hmm.
you have this one dial.
Right.
I think it's really great for manual focus lenses, um, and because that way you have the aperture on the front and the
At the very least, the
it's
aperture,
just,
right? Yeah.
yeah. And
Yeah.
so it's although I prefer, I was just looking at my OM2S camera from
Hmm.
that I bought in high school, and
Yep.
I love that one because it's got the aperture ring on the lens, and on the body, it's right here, right by the lens, is the shutter speed.
Film speed. Yeah. Oh,
And
sorry, shutter speed. Yeah.
that was fantastic. I wish I had that here, but This is such a fun camera. Such a fun camera.
I think there's a couple of things when it came out. One was the lack of EVF because people thought it was more of a professional geared camera, even though on paper it seemed to not be.
Yeah.
The other was some weirdness about the video, but I think a firmware update fixed that. Because
there was weirdness. There was a 15-minute limit at launch.
Oh,
and
that's
then
what
pretty
it was.
soon they said, okay, it could overheat, but people like take it into the desert like and never overheat.
Yeah.
Because there's not they say there's not a fan in it, but when you have it on, there's a sound.
Oh.
But there's no fan. So I don't know what. Okay. I don't know what's up with that.
It's just somebody in there.
There's something in there that's making a noise, but it's just so much fun.
My last question for you: is it L mount? Is that right?
For it Panasonic? Is L mount. L mount on the camera. So this Brightin Star is an L mount lens.
Oh, it is L mount, not M mount.
L mount. Okay. The Mandler that I have coming is an M.
Like an M?
It is.
Or M42.
What do I have? I think the one that's coming is an M mount.
Okay.
And the Jupiter 8 that I have is like a thread mount, so M39.
Oh wow, yeah.
And M and 39 are the same, are like very similar, like that big adapter.
So you can get like there's a small adapter you can just permanently put on there, right?
Yeah, and then there's the M42 thread or 42 millimeter thread that is, I mean, it's a big chunk that goes on the front.
Right.
But I got a bunch of those. So I got the 4239 and the M from a company called Earth.
URTH.
Yeah. And they've been great. I wish they were all black and not a little bit of chrome on there. But
yeah.
I mean, and I did it actually has Lumix on here that is in white letters. I just black it out. No, I mean, some people black it out because they want to make it more stealthy. I just think it looks cooler.
It looks
purely
better. You got to get like a square hood on the front too, have you?
So I have that coming with the Mandler.
Sorry.
So the Mandler is coming with that. Yeah.
Yeah, as opposed to the pedal hood.
So yeah, this has been so much. And the other thing people are annoyed at is that the shoe is a cold shoe, not a hot shoe.
Right.
I don't care about that.
Yeah.
It's flash. The built-in LUTs and the film looks is just so much fun.
This is going to be the opposite of probably what you need, but the Sigma 35mm f1.2 lens, which is larger than that camera, is so phenomenal that I'm considering finding some L mount camera because it feels like the lens for me. I'm not like the Sony's great, but I'm not sure if there might not be some other camera out there that could like do it just as well. I'm kind of interested in open gate recording, which is something Panasonic does. Yeah, specifically. Anyway, the 35mm focal length, I'm with you on.
Yeah.
And like 1.4, 1.2 is amazing.
Yeah.
So you get
it. Give it a few more weeks or months, and there's going to be one other lens that I want to get. I mean, there's always going to be more, but
of course,
one other lens. I think the next lens is the Typoc 21mm f2 or 1.4 or something like that. Typoc, spelled THYPOCH.
Yes,
that looks a lot of fun. And 21 or 24 is actually my favorite focal length because it's not so wide that it's just a little bit wider. 30. This is actually the first time I've really used a 35.
That's a little bit too close for you, hey?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think 28 is where I typically stand. 24 and 21 are a bit wide for me, but 35 feels a bit constrictive.
Yeah.
But I've been using almost entirely that Sigma 1.2 lens that I grabbed in Japan.
And then the Typoc 75 also looks interesting. That would definitely be very narrowed in, but and which is interesting. It's a shorter. When the 21 is definitely longer. Yes, I saw that.
Around that same.
And it would definitely be cheaper. because the
Yes.
Typox are like $900.
Correct.
Yeah.
All right. I think we should probably
Okay.
stop.
Yeah.
Sorry, there weren't too many comments this time,
There
but
were none.
thank you for all of the visitors. We did. I think we peaked at 9 at one point in time.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for those of you who stuck around. Again, we'll try to make these weekly going forward. Now
We
that we're
will.
both back from vacation.
Do you have any other vacations or trips?
I've got to go to New York in October. That is
Okay.
about it.
Good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
good
not
on
going anywhere
Toronto.
for a while, so yeah.
There you go. Maybe I can find the
Mm.
I don't know, motivation within me to start playing
Yeah.
around with some AI stuff this week, but I'm sure I
Yeah.
will. Yeah.
Yeah.
You will be going away? You started
I
something?
think there are
We'll
a
figure it out.
couple of trips, but they should have internet. We're
Oh,
going
there you
to
go.
in sometime in August. We're going to a there's a kind of a new little town that was built like as a commercial development. The whole town. It's actually part of
That's
another
not
town.
strange.
It's very
Yeah.
Pleasantville-esque,
Yeah.
and it's called Seabrook, Washington. So
Mm,
look that up,
interesting.
Seabrook, and it's
Wow.
all the houses look kind of they're all different, but they're kind of the same, and it's got
Mm.
the everybody's in this one.
Sorry,
It's
my mind is blank. Did you say Stepford Wives? Because I think that's what I
yeah.
was thinking. But you said
I
Pleasantville.
said I
Pleasantville.
said
My apologies.
Pleasantville, but
Yeah, yeah. Because I was trying
Stepford
to think of.
Wives.
There's
Yeah,
a
I mean
lot of
it's and
stories
there's
like this, right? Yeah.
yeah, and it's the whole town. All the buildings were built in the last I don't know 10 years, maybe a little bit longer.
Interesting.
Um,
Interesting.
but we're gonna stay there
Hopefully you
for a
come
few
back.
days. Yeah,
Yeah. Hopefully you come back.
yeah.
All right, folks.
All
Should we
right.
find the end
Yeah, I
stream
think
button?
so. Click on finish. Here we go. End broadcast.